Hello. Welcome to my studio. It's been a while because I've been sick, but I'm not sick now, so here we are. Trying to find a place for my feet to go. Cool. Here we are. Might have to move my camera a little bit, and that's okay. Let's start listening to the music that has been submitted for us to listen to. Hello, Ryan from Pool Nights. Shout out Bend Over. Is there also a guy named Mike Hunt? Okay, let's listen. Let's see what's going on. Cat attack, the trees are bleeding. That sounds terrifying. That was cool, Kat. Very good. Very well done. My only concern is the same thing that I say pretty much every time you send something in, and it is that the beginning is very quiet. And I mean, it doesn't have to be fully sausaged. I don't think the track should be sausaged, but I just think, I think this right here, this could be more like, kind of like, whoa, something like that. I don't know, just a little louder, because there's really, I don't think you'd really lose a lot of perceived dynamics. I don't think you would lose the impact when the drums kick in. I just think that the beginning could be louder. Have you ever had a bad sausage? I believe all of us have had bad sausages. It's kind of more rare to have a good sausage. Most of the time, sausages suck, let's be honest. Okay. That's what I got to say. Okay, now we have a sausage just like that, and we have been bestowed a sausage. Let's listen to the sausage.
Put your hands in the air. 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 Hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air.
Wow. I like this. I think this has some potential. The drop is a little underwhelming. I think it's mostly when it opens up, when the filter opens up and the synth is just going full throttle, it kind of loses definition. It's kind of like I don't feel the rhythm of the synth anymore because it's just kind of like now, you know. So I don't know if I'd keep the filter wide open. Well, as whelming. I've never heard the word whelming being used without under or over being attached to it. There's like lots of cool elements. I think I'm just getting lost at the drop a little bit because when it goes full open. I don't know. I'm just kind of like I just get a little lost. I don't know. I'm having a hard time giving you like constructive criticism on this one. But I think it's mostly just the fact that when the filter opens up on the synth, it just kind of feels like a bit of a wall of sound as opposed to like that's a cool rhythm, it's a cool riff. but I kind of lose it when you go like this with the cutoff knob, and all of a sudden it's just da 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 instead of da ba da ba ba da ba da ba. I think that's mostly, I don't know, if you could keep some articulation in the synth a little bit more during those sections of the drops, so we can still have the da ba da da ba da ba da da, and we don't lose that. I think that's probably the best feedback I'm going to give you on this right now. The rest of it sounds pretty polished. It sounds pretty good. Raham said the vocal gets old kind of quickly. Yeah, maybe. I would maybe try to come up with some other vocal thing, like some cut that could be used as a call and response, or like as almost like a counter melody to the original vocal that's in there now. Put your hands in the air like you just don't care. And I'm full of original lyrics. I'm here for quite a while tonight, so let me know if you need any more original lyrics. Besides that, it's cool. The mix sounds good. Master sounds good. If you could get some more articulation in that section of the drop, I would be happier. All right, let's check out Fowler and Chanel Numb Multi-Fox remix. Okay, a remix. Here we go. Okay, my first question is, according to the spectrogram over here, you have used the MP3 of this song where all of my stems are available in full fidelity on the Discord channel. You could just use the stems, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's keep going. That was pretty cool. I like that. I like this so far. Honestly, it's pretty sick. I enjoyed this. I did get lost a little bit around like the halfway mark. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I think the drums could probably be louder. Like the drums probably could go a bit harder. I think that's my main thought on this. Like have I already spilled fucking coffee on myself? I think I like the sound of the drums. I just don't think that they are loud enough. So yeah, turn the drums up. My least favorite part was the halftime. I don't know, maybe just go full time the whole time. Go full time. Yeah, I think turn the drums up. And then it's too chaotic. Maybe you're not chaotic enough. Did you ever think of that? I don't know. It's hard for me to like give this a real once over because it's a remix of my song and I quite like it. Don't give Raham any more ideas. He already, I think he has like a notification in his phone once every month to message me and be like, we should make a VIP of Numb. Anyway, good job, Multifox. You did a good job with this one. No wrong keys, no wrong notes, and it's fun. And I like it. Cool. Let's check out Ice Cab, Very Chill Thing. This sounds like a song that would be in like a late 90s cop drama movie, and this is like the cop is dealing with the fact that he's neglected his daughter for like 20 years and now she's like moving out, and he has to come to terms with the fact that he's poured all of his time and energy into his career and fighting, crime and bad guys, which is easy to justify that you're doing the right thing, but at the same time, you've neglected your daughter for her entire life. So now you're coming to the realization that maybe saving that one relationship with your daughter is more important than saving 100 people from crime. That's what this reminds me of. I think I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what this is for. Is there going to be lyrics? Is this for a cop show where there's daughter problems? Is there going to be lyrics? Could I be more specific? Yes. Okay. So basically, I think growing up, the main character, his father was also a cop, and everything was surrounding like the importance of being a good cop and doing the world some good. So that's kind of like, that's built into his DNA, right? Like he's like, all he knows is being a cop. But now the whole point of the movie, the character arc that we get to experience with him is him going from being a good cop to being a great dad. And that's the character arc. And that's the lesson that he must learn, is that sometimes your relationship with one person is more important than the lives of many. Okay. I like it. It's emotional. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but you've done a good job so far. The drums are super duper reverby, and to the point where it's kind of like cheesy, but I guess that's kind of the point. That's why I'm a little confused. I'm like, well, those drums are like super duper wet, but maybe that's what they should be, because, the whole cop thing. I don't know. Besides that, I think that just like the Cat Attack song, it's very quiet in the parts that should be quiet, but I don't think they should be that quiet. So if you ignore the peaks, if you ignore these tiny transients, your whole track is only about, that loud, right? So I would, I'm not out here trying to make everybody's track super loud, but like if you ignore those tiny transients, the loudest that your track gets is like this. So you just have like all of this extra whoop-de-doo space that you could do so many gymnastics in. Okay, cool. That's what I think. Thank you. I'm feeling very non-specific today, except when it came to that cop idea. Okay, let's check out Netfelix, The Night Bass. Okay, did you have like, are you doing side chaining with volume automation, and if you do automation with volume, if you do side chaining with volume automation, then you know what I am going to say. So at the start, so when you did this, because to me it sounds like the side chain was down. No, not that. I think that the side chain at the start was down. It was stuck down until it got here, and then it came up. So it's cool, but like it's all bass. It's all like sub bass. If we listen to the track and we take out the sub bass, like it's a cool groove, but we don't get much information in terms of like what the riff is or musically what's happening. I'm finding it hard to determine what's happening musically here, because mostly all we have is like a sub bass. See, like I'm liking the second drop better. It's got the little choppy vocal in it. It's got a bit more of a blah 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 wow wow. Like it's got more discernible like riffs or musical ideas instead of just kind of like thumping bass. I feel like Kirby would probably be a good reference. Like, what's a good Kirby song that would be? Kirby.
On your chosen podcasting platform. These reviews really help us to.
Yes, thank you, Andre. I can't think of a good Kirby song.
Big. You crave the baseline. The baseline.
There's one, I just can't remember what it's called. It's Kirby and somebody else. Anyway, I think listening to some Kirby would be good reference material for this, because what you've done is you've built a very solid foundation of like your kick drum and your groove and your bass line are all pretty solid, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of information on top of that I can kind of get stuck in my head, or I can like attach myself to melodically, because it's all just very deep bass. And then there's a few kind of half-cooked ideas, like there's like brass stuff that's happening in the breakdown that's kind of cool. But it just kind of comes and then it kind of goes, you know? So I don't know. I think when I listen to this, what I hear is like you playing around and kind of like throwing a bunch of stuff out there, and it doesn't feel like you have figured out what the song is yet. It just sounds like you've found some cool sounds. You've done a pretty good job at mixing and getting it to sonically sound good, but I don't hear like a main idea here yet. And I think in the second... Dun, 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 like there's something there, but I don't feel like it has been fully. I never know if I should say fleshed out. That sounds weird to me. But flushed out also sounds weird to me. So I don't know what the proper saying is, but I feel like you just need to keep going and put an emphasis on now trying to chisel it down to an idea, whether it's a riff, if it's a vocal cut, you know. I think that's what you need to do now, is you need to, like, it's fleshed out. Okay, thank you. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's what I would do. I'd keep going, but I'd put an emphasis on trying to figure out what is the melody, you know, and the melody doesn't necessarily need to be somebody on a flute doing like a melody. It could be the way the bass runs, you know, like what you got going here is kind of, it's flirting with the idea of being a hook. So yeah, that's what I think. Cool. Thanks for sending. Let's check out Night Level Diera City Center Horu Remix. That title was difficult for me. Let's have a listen.
Tripping on back from the legs, say some. Never tell a back that I never stay running. Sipping on facts, damn, know I got stacks in the lab. Taking bitches straight for another cat. Make shit while I never had shit. Bitch, move, make your motherfucking head split. Cost to the loss, never really gon' pay shit. Tell me never really gon' chase it. Yeah. Dreams to the brain, no play. Hands to the way, niggas know I ain't play. Fast to the break when I switch all day. Stance when I glance to the damn all day. Sticking up signs free, never mind me. Point to the ground, stick down to the feet. Stay, please stay, bitch, you got no beat. Never take a seat, bitch, you never gon' sleep. Play with the game when I run a long back. Change when I say that I stay with the Mac. Fake with the niggas coming back to the rack. Late to the game that I watch no back. Walk straight through, don't ask, don't shoot. Run real soon, no cash, no loot. Dreams fall short, no time, never knew. Never no rules, nigga, never no shoes. Speed, no fuel, intake, never stop.
Okay, so this is cool. It's got my head bobbing and my foot tapping, but it doesn't feel like I'm going anywhere. It feels like we've kind of peaked here and then we're just kind of riding along. There's not enough like development. I don't feel like we're moving towards something. Have no drop. Sure. I mean, like, if it's a genre thing, then that's fine. But I do kind of just, I don't necessarily mean it needs to build up and have a massive drop, but like even just like a hi-hat that comes in, or, you know, like something, because his delivery on the vocal is very, it's cool, but it's just very na 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 and it just keeps going like that. And then the beat is also just, it just is going. And everything is just kind of trucking. And I don't feel like we're moving, we're evolving, we're progressing. It just kind of feels like we're a bit stagnant. Let's keep going. Especially when you have like these little turnaround sections at the end of each measure, like right here. And here. And where it like drops out, it kind of implies that there's going to be something new. It's like, yo, I'm dropping out the music and then a little fill and then we come back in with something new, but it never comes back in with new. Except here, I guess we've dropped out some stuff. I wonder if like maybe you pull out the drums and have more emphasis on the melodic, like you have kind of like a synth lead thing that's running. I don't know if that's from the original or if that's something you've added, but even just pulling out the drums in this section, that would help quite a bit, because then when you come back in, boom, we come back in with the drums, the vocals, it feels more like a moment as opposed to just kind of like a slight increase in energy from the previous section. Thinking this right, switching and missing the point to the tight, washing the thoughts in the back of my mind, telling that I know for fact that they mine. Watch me, I'm so low, I walk with your photo, take money from the locked door, this move back what you pay for, swing it down, the water way, take a dip in the. I think it's intentionally super washed out. I think it's like a genre thing. I'm not really familiar with this genre, but I do know that you can kind of see like here. So you've got, let's switch this to red. You've got like a measure, a measure, a measure, a measure, a measure, a measure, a measure. And every time it gets to the end of one of those measures, it does a little dropout and then it comes back in with a crash symbol. So it kind of it feels a little repetitive because it kind of feels like the energy is doing this, right? And that's why I'm saying, like, even if you maybe like these first two are the same as is, and then here maybe you build it up with like a more prominent hi-hat or something that gives this section a little extra pizzazz, and then you remove the drums out of this section and get just super melodic with it, and you build up and now you bring it back in with more drums. So to me, that would create a more compelling, a more interesting arrangement, because now you're taking us along a journey as opposed, and the journey is more than just every, 8 bar, 16 bar, however long this is. Right now, it feels like I'm digesting this in these chunks. It's like I'm listening to individual chunks, individual chunks, individual chunks. I don't necessarily feel like I'm being taken on a journey up and down and throughout the song. I feel like I'm just hearing, chunk 1. Okay, now I'm hearing chunk 2. Now I'm hearing chunk 3, 4, etc. To me, that's what it feels like. And the fact that you always drop out at the end of the measure. So if oh man, that's amazing. Technology. So like the fact that every time it kind of chugs along, it does a little dropout, and then it comes back, does a little dropout, comes back, does a little dropout. You know what I mean? Like the drums drop out at the end of the measure, and then you come back in. Same here. That I think everything you have sounds cool here, and the track is super vibey and nice sounding. To me, the problem is just the arrangement is quite repetitive and chunky. So I would, now that you kind of have like, you know, you have your, it doesn't really seem like you necessarily have the whole structure of the song figured out, because this looks like a fade out, but I don't know. Now maybe try to think of it in longer time, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Intervals. Instead of like focusing on individual chunks and measures, try to think about, how do I crescendo here and then break down and then build back up, and, you know, try to think of it more longer. There's a word for that. Time. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. That's what I think. I think, yeah, the washed outness and all that stuff, that's probably a genre thing and maybe a bit subjective. But, yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm having a really great time. There's no way.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem that I'm having is just the arrangement, and having the arrangement. Time horizon, thank you, Liao 1511. That's what I was trying to think of, was time horizon. I could not think of it for the life of me. I kept thinking of time dilation, and anyway, this isn't physics. That's what I think. I think it's a cool, vibey track, but the arrangement is not compelling me. It doesn't make me feel like I'm going on a journey. Okay, let's check out No Quilt, and I think I might actually have to pee after this one.
I'll be anything that you want me to be. I'll be anything you want me to be, baby. I'll be anything that you want me to be. I'll be anything you want me to be, baby. Just take my hand, we won't always be free. Just take my hand, we won't always be free. Just take my hand, we won't always be free. Just take my hand, we won't always be free. Hold it up, shake it in your feet. I'll be anything that you want me. I'll be anything you want me to be, baby.
Okay, this is cool. What do I... When it drops, I would probably get rid of the vocals, at least mostly. You could bring them in at the end of the measures. You could tease them a little bit. But the way I see it, right from that get-go, the vocals are super, like, in my face, busy, complex. It's taking up a lot of my attention right from the get-go. And then all the way through the build-up and into the drop, they're still, like, super busy and super in my face. And that doesn't necessarily make me feel like the drop has happened, because the vocals are still kind of like chugging along the way they were before.
Hold it up, shake it in your feet.
And like when the vocals are chugging along in the background like they were there, I think that might be okay in the second part of the drop, but they just are kind of distracting, and especially I see like Bleed and Rayhem are talking about the bass sounds being kind of jarring because of how different they are. They might be a little bit less jarring if the vocals weren't distracting me. That way I could kind of pick up on the pattern that, like the actual phrasing of the basses would come across a little easier if the vocal wasn't continually like distracting me from them.
I'll be
Front to the back.
Again, I still kind of feel the same way. I feel like the vocal is just, I don't think it's contributing. I think it's just adding like a layer of stuff for me to try and listen to.
You got like some pills and that, yeah? Oh yeah, what are they good? Yeah, I like some of them. I wanna get high, I wanna get fucked up tonight, you get me? Just take my hand, we won't always be free. Just take my hand, we won't always be free. Hold it up, take it up, yes. Right up in the place.
Also, I'm not sure if you are sidechaining to your snare, but if you aren't, you should, and if you are, you should more, because I don't feel like the snare is really punching through all of the crazy sound.
All right.
I also was going to mention the brass stabs. I was wondering if you could replace them with something that does the same thing but isn't brass stabs, because then you don't have brass stabs. But yeah, I think the biggest thing to me is the vocals are just kind of they're just kind of distracting during the drop sections, and because the phrasing with those basses are so complex as it is, you kind of need to give the listener as easy of a job to digest them as possible. So I'd probably use them a bit more sparingly in the drops. And then I would probably try to sidechain a little bit harder to your main drums, to your kick and snare, because I find that like your crazy sound design wubs and stuff are super loud, but the drums almost feel underneath of them, and the drums should cut through. I mean, brass stabs sound cool. There's nothing wrong with them in isolation. There's nothing wrong with them in a vacuum, but it's just kind of like, it's just so done, you know, like it's done so often that it's not necessarily, if you only heard this song ever, it'd probably be fine. But it's just like brass, they're just kind of like the go-to, like dum dum dum. I mean, I've used them lots in the past too. But moving forward, if I were to use a brass stab, I'd either use it ironically, or I would try to find a sound, or maybe twist them in a way that gives them some new life, new value, you know what I mean? Like put some effects on, or just create something that doesn't just sound like a brass stab. Yeah, it's just kind of like had its day. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong of me to say, but that's how I feel. When I hear brass stab, I'm like, okay, we got brass stabs. Here we go, you know? Anyway, that's what I think. I think it's cool. Rayhem, mutual reassurance. Okay, let's go. I mean, I like those 2 notes. Those are 2 good notes. When the drop hit, I don't know. I just felt like I didn't feel like it smacked me. I feel like maybe it's because it's just like the sustained notes. It has no, the bass has very little rhythm to it, you know, because it's just kind of like, it's just like, I keep saying chugging. It's just kind of chugging. You know, like what would it be like? What's the tempo? 174? 175? $175. Wow, nice. I don't know. I'm just like, what? You know what I mean? Like just something to give us some semblance, some idea of like a rhythm in there. You know what I mean? Like even that, it doesn't sound great, but now I have a bit more to attach myself to in terms of like rhythm. I think that's mostly what it's missing. Is it just sounds like you're just like, hey guys. You know what I mean? So a stutter didn't work. Okay, well, something. Maybe a filter modulation. Something that it doesn't, I don't know. To me, just holding the note and then letting the drum and bass drums drum and bass while the bass basses and the drums. I don't know if that's the move. I think you have 2 really great notes here, and you got to figure out how to make them talk a little bit more. Like to me, they're not really telling me anything. They're just kind of screaming in my face, and like I want them to just like talk to me a bit more, maybe. Like, I think the more sustained stuff could work later on in the drop, but when the drop first happens, I think you got to break it up a bit more and have a bit more, like, riffage. Like, it needs to be riffing a little bit more. I don't know. Sforzando. That's way beyond my Italian. Okay, that's what I think. I think it's cool, dude. Honestly, it sounds like a good idea, but when it dropped, I just wasn't ready to rip one of my arms off and throw it across the room. So take that with a grain of salt. Okay, what's up next? Atrix, I got bored, made this in like an hour. Okay, well, I'm gonna pee right over there in the pee corner of my room. Wow. That was quite the remix.
I'll wear your granddad's clothes. I look incredible. I'm in this big ass coat from that thrift shop down the road. I'll wear your granddad's clothes. I look incredible. I'm in this big ass coat from that thrift shop down the road. I'm gonna pop some tags.
Man, that fucking snare drum. So I like this. This is silly, but it's fun. The biggest thing is when the drop happens, everything besides the snare is not very loud. Like, everything is very minuscule. It's very quiet, but then the snare is like, holy fuck. At least spare the women and children, you know? So I'd probably turn, I don't know, maybe keep the snare where it's at and bring everything else up, like your bass sounds and everything, all that stuff, way up, you know? Maybe the snare could come down a little bit and then everything else can come up. Snare is here. Everything else, the kick is pretty close to the snare. So maybe the kick and the snare could stay, maybe bring the snare down a little bit. Now the kick and the snare are in the same spot. And then all of your other sounds in between the kick and the snare should be coming up quite a bit to match that level. Same here. I mean, like, these sounds are so quiet. It's like you have some sounds that are very, very loud and some sounds that are very, very quiet. And I think you need to go and maybe adjust the loud sounds to make them not as loud and the quiet sounds to make them not as quiet. But besides that, it's a fun remix and I'm going to pop some tags. All right, let's check out WTM Conscious. So musically, I like this. Arrangement-wise, this section is cool, but like, there's no real build-up. There's, you know, there's one effect, but there's nothing to like get me hyped. And then And also, I'd maybe shift the whole thing up a few semitones because you're getting real down in there. For like when you go down to those lower notes, it gets really low. So you almost need to either put those real low notes up an octave or shift the whole song up like 2 semitones. And then when you dip down to those lower notes at the end of the chord progression, it doesn't go quite so low to like almost inaudible territory. And then when you bring the square plucky thing back in, it's musically, I don't think it's fully agreeing with all of the other stuff that's there. Just made the hardest beat ever. Thank you for adding that value, Raham. Committed to reading it and then blanked. I didn't blank. I responded poignantly. I think your kick drum kind of sucks a little bit. It kind of just has like the but not like the punch or the like, you know. I would almost want like something a bit more. It's okay to have like a rounded kick like that doesn't have much transient, but like something like this is probably. It just doesn't sound very flavorful. Like your kick drum just kind of sounds like an like in Doom when you're looking for secrets on the wall. And you keep pushing like the E button. It's from the bass. Okay. Oh, like it's cooked into like the 808 kind of synth patch thing. Maybe because I didn't mind your kick here. Unless that's also cooked into the bass, just a different bass. This kick doesn't sound bad. Whatever's going on here doesn't sound bad. It's just when, especially the very first kick that hits, that just kind of sounds like somebody goes like this, like hits the microphone. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would, like Raham said, sidechain the kick so you could have a kick and then just sidechain the bass out of the way when the kick hits. Let's keep going. I really like this part. Like, I like the musical element of this track more. That part was me sneaking to the kitchen to get a cookie. Got to be careful with your reverses too, because you could see the reverse ends a little bit before the kick, so you get this kind of flaming effect. You get what, and then the kick happens instead of like reversing into the kick. Because yeah, that's the end of the reverse sound there. And what about eventually having a hi-hat pattern that comes in that's a bit more steady? Because right now it's all very sporadic, offbeat, spastic. I don't know what other words I could use, but it's all kind of like on the offbeats, right? So one thing you could do to make us feel like we've like accomplished something or gotten somewhere is maybe just bring in like a hi-hat that's every 16th note, or something that's a little more a little steady. And there's a bit of a sour note happening in one of the drony things. Whatever comes in here, it sounds like it's not quite agreeing with the rest of the melodic stuff. Is this suitable for my YouTube channel? I don't know what that means, to be honest. That kind of pulsing thing, it sounds like there's some frequency in there that's not really jiving with the rest of it musically. But I do like it melodically. I like a lot of the stuff. It's very Nine Inch Nails, melodically speaking. But yeah, hopefully some of that stuff helps. Okay, where are we at? Val code. 130 beats per minute. Nick, please help me find a main sound. Well, if you're asking me if it's worthy of uploading to your YouTube channel, I cannot answer that. That is a you. That is a you question, and it's not an easy question to answer. I'll give you that, but only you can answer that, and only you can prevent forest fires. Okay, so this is very cool. I like the intricacy of the drop, but what I don't like about it is I don't think the sub bass should be so intricate. The sub bass is kind of non-existent during this part. And I think you can keep the intricacy in the top elements, but in the bass, I would probably just have it go dun 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 dun, so that we have a more consistent and thicker bottom end. Similar, you could maybe just use the same sub bass here. You can maybe use that sub bass over top of this. And let all of the top things go dugga 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 dugga. But the bottom end, it's lacking power because I think you're trying to do the tiny little notes with the sub bass, and I don't think that's really providing a nice bottom end. What would it sound like if I did this? And just do a real dirty on top of it. D. Okay, that's D. Oh, let's get rid of that. Let's see what it sounds like this. You said 100 and, what was it, 130? Let's go down to 130. Okay, let's see what it sounds like if I just dirtily slap this. Or we're probably gonna have some phasing. Even just playing these on the top with no side chaining, no sub bass separation, I think it sounds better. You know what I mean? If you listen to this bottom end, it sounds way more powerful, just like that. And then you could get a little more, you know, you could go... you could do like this sort of thing maybe for the... Even in this section, I think you're being too sparse with the bass. I'd also maybe experiment with using the vocal a little bit less. I don't know. It's not necessarily a problem being dun, dun, dun on the downbeat, but to me, that gives me like second half of the drop vibe. Now, in terms of a main sound, that's what you're asking me. I'd almost do like a, I don't know if I could do this. So not just a sawtooth, but. Some sound and have it do this. Let's back it up a bit. I can't get the volume right. So basically I'm just doing Oh, you know what that reminds me of actually? I think it's this. Like something like that could work over top of it. I think the thing that gave me that idea is that you have like a very consistent chop, chop, chop with the vocal thing. And then to contrast that, you've got like a fast, like a very quick happening thing. And now having a long sustained thing over top of it could contrast well. I just opened up my live splits for some reason. I'm not doing a speed run, so I'll just go ahead and close my live splits. Okay, let's keep going. It's sick though. You got a lot of really great sounds happening here. I think listen to that Billy Kenny track, Work. It's not quite the same vibe, but I think that kind of detune thing might work well with all of your choppy choppies happening. Okay, cool. That's what I got. Let's check out Evolve. Okay, that's very Tool, very prog rock, math rock. I like it. It's cool. The 192 is really killing you. The top end feels dead because you rendered it out as a poopy MP3. I wasn't a big fan of this fake out. I feel like I was just waiting. I wasn't getting amped. I wasn't my fancies weren't being tickled. I was just waiting. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd do that. You know, sometimes a good old fake out works for reasons, but I don't know. In my opinion, this just kind of broke up the momentum a little more, and it didn't really provide a whole lot of... Yeah, I mean, like, you could maybe do the fake out, but just not quite as long. I think that's what it was. When it was happening, I was like getting ready to get into it, you know? And then I had to wait 1:15. I had to wait like 7 seconds. So maybe if you want to still break it up with like a cool reverse thing, does the time sync change that? Are you trying to establish the timing signature here? Is that the idea of like, yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I don't really think it necessarily drives that home because of the filtering that you've done on the drums. There's not a clear... I didn't know that the timing signature was going to get all fancy on me until it happened. So I don't think that if that was its purpose, it didn't come through for me. I wasn't like, oh, now we're doing 15/16 timing. Cool. You know, I figured that out here. But if you do want to break it up and maybe have the da 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 and then get into it, that might be cool. But you can also back time it a little bit. You know, like drop this out early and just have this section be part of the build instead of have it after the build. But I also just typically I don't really like fake outs that much, so keep that in mind too. It's kind of like Perfect Circle. You sound like you like Perfect Circle. Oh, I deleted it. I'm torn on the fake guitar because it's very obviously a fake guitar, and I just think it'd be better if it was real guitar. So I don't know if you can play guitar or if you know somebody who can play guitar. I like the part, I like the melody. The fake guitar thing kind of cheapens it a little bit. Do you have a friend that can play guitar? Or maybe replace the fake guitar with a synth sound or something that's a bit more authentic, I guess, you know? I didn't mind the fake guitar in the drop section. It didn't bother me there. It's just when it's naked and I'm like, oh, that's a fake guitar, you know? Like when it's just out in the open. When it's in the drop, it doesn't sound bad. It sounds good. So maybe the solution would be to replace the guitar sound with something that's not a guitar sound. Let me just see what happens if we do this. Or wait. Oops. Like, I know that it's abrupt because of the timing, the prog kind of, what is it? I can't even tell what timing, what is that, 7/8? You know, like, I think it'd be better 7/8. Okay, yeah. So I would be trying to, in this section, I'd be trying to drive home the 7/8 time. Because then you can build us up, and then rock out instead of build us up, confusion for 7 seconds, and then rock out. You know, I'd try that. Yeah, it's dope, and it reminds me of, is it I never know how to spell Annihilation remix. I think it's this. No, it's not that. It's the one that they used in a Resident Evil trailer, and ever since then, that's what I think of when I think of Perfect Circle. Perfect Circle remix Resident Evil. Oh, it's Outsider.
With 3 ways to move, it's the perfect mix.
Let's watch an ad together. This song is dope. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but
Reckless dark desires, you're lying to yourself again. Suicidal in the soul, pounding on the fault line. What will it take to get through to you, precious? Why would I wanna watch you? Disconnect and self-destruct, one bullet at a time. What's your rush now? Everyone will have his day to die. Medicated drama queen, picture perfect number belligerence, narcissistic.
man, there's one spot in the song, I can't find it. It's at the start. God, I love that beat. Anyway, cool. Good job. Hope that helps. Swiss cheese. Awaiting rebrand, whatever that means. Jazz project for school. Musically, this is good, but that ride cymbal being made up of one single sample, it sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, this is fun, but that ride cymbal. You got to get a better sounding drum kit that has like numerous ride cymbals, so it sounds more believable. What the drums are doing is fine, but it's just like the same exact sample over and over again sticks out. And besides that, it's quiet. But it's good. It's jazzy. I like it. That's what I got. All right. Icy Colors V1 by Wailed.
I got pretty used to all the gray until you made it go away. Now I'm hoping that you'll stay, 'cause when you're here it's all okay. And I hope it doesn't change. For once I hope it stays the same. 'Cause you make everything feel better. Oh, you make everything feel better. Better, better. I see colors every time that you're around. I see colors. Really hope you stick around. Through the lows, through the highs, through the dark, through the light. I see colors. I see colors.
This is really good.
It's the same. I see colors.
So like when she's singing at the start, she has kind of like this satin finish on her vocals. You know what I mean? Like Scotch tape. You know, like a bit blurry, a little washed out, you know? And when it comes into
I see colors every time.
I'm wondering if you can get away from that a little bit, have it a bit more clear, a little more crisp. I'm not sure necessarily how to do that, how much of that is her voice and how much of that is the processing on it, you know, like with the reverb and the EQ curve and stuff like that. But I just kind of felt like in terms of the vocals, the energy didn't change a whole lot from the verse to the chorus. It just kind of like the music did.
Feel better. Better, better. I see colors every time that you're around. I see.
It's not bad. Like the chorus sounds good, but to me the vocals didn't step up to where the chorus feels like it should be, you know. There's a little bit of harmony happening, I think.
Really hope you stick around. Through the lows, through the highs, through the
I really like this. The guitar part is sick, and I'm thinking you should probably have like that sooner in the song somehow. What's up, the Lonely Gamer? What is a production feedback live stream? It's when people send in their music that they're working on, and I listen to it, and then we all give our thoughts on what's good, what's bad, what could be better, etc., etc. It kind of reminds me I don't know if this is the right song. Hold on. No, it's not that one. It's another song by the 1975 though. I can't remember which one it is, but it's fine. It was just gonna be a good reference. I don't think it is 1975. Fuck, what is it? All the Way. Is it all? I think it's called All the Way. All the Way. No, none of those. How do I see liked? Can I search my liked songs? All. Yeah, I found it. All the Way by Joan. That could be a good reference.
I don't make any mistakes. There's too many hearts that I could break. Thinking I might just play it safe, so we can get another day. 'Cause you'll make everything feel better. Oh, you'll make everything feel better. Better, better. I see color every time that you're around. I see colors, really hope you stick around. Good at lows, through the highs, through the dark, through the light. I see colors, I see colors.
I mean, the track has a lot of great elements. There's a lot of great elements in it. I think my biggest thing is just the chorus. The vocals are just a bit too chill or something. Everything just feels a little too chill in the chorus. I feel like it needs to step up. It was better with both vocals in there.
I see colors.
For once I hope it stays the same, 'cause you make everything feel better.
Let me try some.
I'm pretty used
See what the tempo is here.
to all the gray.
90.
I see colors.
Okay, 92. Yeah, I agree with Kaidi. It's too satin. The finish is satin, and it's too satin.
So we can get another day. So we can get another day. 'Cause you'll make it.
I'm wondering what happens if the duet part comes in sooner.
To all the gray, until you made it go away.
feel better. We'll make everything feel better. Better, better. I see color.
I don't know how you could maybe swing that, but I think that might be a better arrangement. And I don't mind the kind of dullness of the vocals in the verse. I just want it to wake up a little bit in the chorus, to be brighter, to match the music, to match the energy, right? And that's what I'm trying to figure out here. But I don't know, man. It's a great tune, and I feel like these are original vocals, which is amazing, and I love that. It's a good song. I think it's just it's arrangement wise, it's iffy, and just the energy when it hits the chorus, specifically on the vocals, is bothering me. And I love that guitar part, and it kind of bothers me that you have to wait so long to get it, you know? Let's try. Yeah, I think you have lots of great elements. I think you got to play around with them and reimagine the track a little bit, because you've got lots of great stuff to work with. But anyway, that's what I think. Good job. All right, let's check out Aiden Dodge, In Your Arms. Is any of this real? What does real even mean? What's up with this hard cut? What's up with the MP3 cut at 16 kilohertz? Right here. There's a hard cut at 16 kilohertz, and then when the track gets into like drums and stuff, it... From the saw coming in. No. There's... this whole section leading up to... no, the whole... it's like the instrumental stuff. Like the jazzy kind of keyboard stuff is what has that cut off. I mean, it's cool. I like it. I don't know why the thing has the cutoff on it. I think that it's quite like... I think it's quite scooped, like very deep bass, very bright reverbed drums. But with vocals, I think it would be, I think the vocals would fill in that area. So that could solve that. It's not audible. It gives me suspicious eyes. You know what I mean? Like, where's that instrumental coming from is what I'm thinking when I see that sort of thing. Sounds fine. Doesn't sound like a problem at all. The 16 kilohertz thing is like a forensic tool. Because the rest of your track is full, you know, spectrum, but all the instrumental stuff leading up to it is cut off at 16. Oh, it's from Splice. Okay, well. Yeah. Okay, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool, smooth beat, and I would maybe be cautious of the scoopedness, how deep the bass is, and how bright and reverby the drums are. But the vocals may fill in that gap, because right now there's like a big hole in the mid-range. You can kind of see it. So like right here, you can see like the drums over here, right? They're super bright. You can see the bass super bright. And then there's just this kind of like lacking area in this kind of spot here. But yeah, that's what I think. I think it's a cool beat. It sounds like maybe potentially a baby making snare could work well in there somewhere. But without vocals, yeah. Yeah, ascending vibes. I don't know what ascending vibes means, but yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks for sending. Put some vocals on it, and let's hear it again. Zed. I'd also, if that's a Splice sample, maybe just try making something yourself that channels that same vibe that you're after, but is unique and not just a Splice sample. That would be my recommendation. All right, let's check out Zed Lucky featuring Remy Wolf and Here remix.
In the morning, I catch myself squeezing my pillow tight and it's pouring. As if the sky had feelings just like mine, can ignore it. Yeah, even though it still hurts a lot. Would have been a lot worse if I stayed. I wanted to catch you, but you pulled me like a magnet. And this could have been simple, but you dragged me through the fire. I don't regret it, no baby, I don't regret it. Because you taught me a lesson. Now I'm feeling so lucky.
Okay, I think your sub bass is playing an octave too high. What note are we playing? Oh no, it's B. Oh, it's in the key of B. Oh, that's tough. Is the original in the key of B? Ah, fuck. Could you 1, 2, 3? Could you put it up 1, 2, 3 semitones and see what it sounds like? Then you could at least hit D, or like 2 semitones. It's gonna be tough because when you drop, the sub bass is like doot 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 doot. It's not like deep, you know, and it's really hard. B is like really tough because you can't play. That's very inaudible. But if you maybe transpose the whole track up 2 or 3 semitones, then you could maybe hit the D, you know? Okay, let's keep going.
I'm driving, and everyone around me looks like you in silence. You're the only thing that will cut through. I don't get it.
Love and hate are both strong words, Drop Pop, but if you go back and listen to what I said, then you will understand.
I need to forget it. Would have been a lot worse if I stayed. I wanted to catch you, but you put me like a magnet, and this could have been simple, but you dragged me through the fire. I don't regret it. No, baby, I don't regret it. Because you taught me a lesson. Now I'm feeling so lucky.
I mean, it's a cool remix, but that B problem is going to haunt you. When you try to make this style of music and it's in the key of B, you are fighting an uphill fight. I've done it. I know how it feels. I would recommend just seeing if you could transpose the vocals up, you know? If you push it up to D, then all of a sudden the drop is just immediately gonna sound 100 times. Just do this. Don't even worry about the vocals. Take your drop and just for shits, put it to D and play it in the correct octave and see what it sounds like, and that will tell you whether it's worth all of the work of going through and transposing it. Which is best, D or D sharp? You can't ask those questions. I mean, like, it really depends. It really D sharp depends. That was a bad joke. Try both. See which sounds better. I would probably go for D because it's closer to the original key and you wouldn't have to do as much transposing, you know? But before you do anything, just see what the drop sounds like, you know? Just shift your drop to make it play in the key of D and then play it down an octave in the proper octave. And then you might be like, oh God, this is well worth it. Or maybe it's so good that you're like, fuck it, this isn't going to be a remix anymore. I'm just going to make this my own song, you know, like that happens a lot. Relative major minor, that shit never really works, at least in my experience. It's like, one time I did a writer's camp and I was writing with like this like trained jazz musician, and she was trying to explain to me why something that I didn't think worked, like we did this like almost like a key change thing or something. I don't really exactly remember what it was, but I remember thinking that doesn't sound right to me. And then she was trying to like mathematically prove to me that it works musically. And I'm like, I don't give a shit if like jazz says it works. It doesn't sound right to me, you know? So I find that's what happens when you try to do like relative major minor things. Maybe sometimes it works. In this case, what I would do is I would put it to D. I would see what it sounds like. If it sounds good, then I would try to push the vocals up 3 semitones and see if do they still sound okay? Do they sound fucked? Do they sound all right? If they sound fucked, then maybe, I don't know. Then you gotta make a call. But that's what I would do. I think the track is cool. Obviously, it's not fleshed out enough. It's just an idea right now. But to me, that's the thing that's holding it back right now is the key, because B is not the key to be in. Okay, cool. But thanks for sending. That's cool. I like the drop. All right, this one is called Daft Punk. So great job naming. Okay, you need to sidechain. That's number one piece of advice that's going to go the longest distance here is sidechain. I feel like there might be some sidechaining. Calling it Daft Punk and not sidechain. That's funny. Yeah, like there may be some sidechaining, but it's not enough sidechaining. I also noticed that the last two tracks are submitted by the same person, so they're going to get a grand total of 1 track's worth of feedback spread amongst the 2 songs. I mean, like, I get what you're going for here. It's cool. I can get behind it. It's the side chaining is going to be necessary. You're just kind of playing one note. And sometimes playing one note is okay, you know, to build tension. But playing one note for an entire section is probably not gonna. But yeah, like this section, it sounds a bit like synth wavy to me, but if it had more side chaining, it would work a lot better. Okay, now let's check the next one you sent in. This one's called Techno 90s Josh FX. Okay, this is cool, but where's the bass? I don't really hear a bass line. Let's see what key it's in. See, like me playing the bass on top of that, then it sounded more complete. Yeah, man, I got your track, Porter TRV. It's the last one, and I'll listen to it in a sec. Note the number 1 in brackets was in the file before. Believe me, I thought I downloaded it more than once too, but if you look in the Discord, it has the 1 in the brackets as well. Yeah, I think especially when you do this super dense, detuned sawtooth with a lot of release on it, and it's like almost a wall, we really need the bass to kind of anchor, because there's so much density of all the notes playing on top of each other. We need that bass note to tell us that's a C. Oh my God. Play the right friggin'. You know what I mean? So I think bringing the bass in sooner and just being careful with the density of it. And what I mean by density is you've got so many notes on top of each other, and a lot of the notes are kind of dissonant intervals, like they're close to each other. There's so much release and like reverb and stuff on everything that it creates a bit of a dissonant wall of sound. And you got to be careful of that, especially down in like the low mid range. That's where all those dissonant notes really like to hang out and cause problems. But yeah, generally speaking, I would do some research and improve on your side chaining technique first and foremost, and go from there. Okay, let's check out the last one of the day. Porter TRV by Lee Wan. There's some clicking, little clickins. It's almost like OTT troubles. It's very bass heavy, like very sub, very mostly sub. If I go and let's try this. Let's go like this. It's hard to hear what notes the bass is playing, right? So I would be trying to figure out how to get a bit more mid-range into the bass line, whether that's working with your existing synth or maybe adding a layer or something. Right now, the sub is just overwhelming. And because mostly dun, 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 that's one semitone apart, when you're so low in the register, that's only a few hertz off of each other. So it's even harder to hear the notes that you're playing because they're very close to each other and they're very low in the register. I would try to get a bit more color into the bass line. And also that kind of sustained noise over the whole thing, that to me sounds like a B drop. It sounds like a second half of the drop. I would probably focus more on the dirty bass in the beat and let it be a little chunky and choppy at the start, and then go like look at how much time we had to wait, 50 seconds, and then we get 35 seconds a drop. So the return on investment isn't great here. So what I would probably do is I'd have your drop section drop a little chunkier, and then have your drop the way it is now. Where the fuck? There we go. And then that's now your drop section. And now when we break down, because when you think about it, and I meant to say this too, I don't think this, like, I would probably just get rid of that as well. It took a while to get into it. And then when we got into it, we dropped for a very short period of time and then a breakdown. But the breakdown wasn't really earned. We didn't need that breakdown. We didn't excuse me. We're not out of breath yet. You dropped for such a small amount of time and now a breakdown and we're like, dude, we're not even sweaty, you know? So like, that's why I think everything points towards having a chunkier drop section, then have the more sustained wall of sound drop section. Then you could maybe break down, but I probably wouldn't fully break down. I'd probably keep like an old school beat or something going over there. Because for the most part, we got, what, $1.30. We got like 20 seconds of just like atmosphere. And this isn't really an ambient track, you know what I mean? You can have that ambient element to it. But like if you want us to rock out, I think you need to rethink your arrangement. Let's keep going. Same here. Like your sub bass is so powerful that when the sub isn't playing, it's like I can hear the song. But then whenever the sub plays a note, all I can hear is sub. And this section just kind of feels a bit like a rumbly mess. Let's do this just as an experiment. Yeah, never mind. That wasn't a good experiment. Basically, sub bass too loud, too overpowering, and I would rethink your arrangement. I think this is the better way to do it. Having some mid-range, having some color. What's up, Timothy? Having some more mid-range and color to your bass line is going to allow that dun 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 dun, that riff to come through a lot clearer. Right now, it just is like thick bass, you know. So yeah, that's what I think. Okay, cool. And this is just me. Thank you for hanging out with me. Wow, look at my fancy lens. It makes the background blurry and it makes me not blurry. And that is something to do with the f-stop, I think. Anyway, is it possible to share tracks without mixing and mastering? I don't know what you mean by that, but you can send a track however you would like. However, you will have to do it next week because I'm done today. I gotta pee. I have to pee a lot. I drink a lot. I drink a lot of water, and I do that for my health mostly, but also because I like the tasty treat of a spicy water, which is carbonated water. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm here, and you're there, and I love you. And aperture not f-stop. Wow. Thank you for chiming in. I hope you all have a good weekend. I'm going to get off the camera now. I love you. Bye. Thank you for sending K. Bye. I love you. Bye. Talk to you later. Bye. The fuck am I doing? The mic is still on.